Hello. Can you envision a country where newborn babies are being taken home from the hospital by parents who have been provided with the knowledge, skills, and ability to care and provide for them and help them grow and develop? Can you picture a child who once might have suffered from neglect and abuse, but instead is happy and safe? Can you see in your mind's eye a community full of well adjusted, knowledge seeking children who are an asset rather than an unnecessary casualty of unskilled, untrained parents? Dr. Dreyfus, a nationally recognized clinical psychologist and relationship counselor in Los Angeles, stated on a website bearing his name, 1 in 56 children are abused, and 61% of children are neglected. An astonishing statistic. In all 50 states, we must have a license to drive an automobile. We have to have a license to marry, but anyone can become a parent. No license, no age requirement, no nothing. Just have sex, fertilize an egg, bingo, one becomes a parent. And exactly what makes someone fit to parent? What makes someone think that just by bringing a child into the world, they are fit to parent that child? We would not think of letting people drive a car without having had some experience behind the wheel and taking a driver's test. But when it comes to raising a child, many people, if not most, have never had experience caring for a child. End quote. In researching this subject, I found that in many states, classes such as court-ordered divorce class, child custody class, and co-parenting classes are required if a couple wants to file for divorce. Examples of other classes that are mandatory in several states are drug and alcohol classes, online traffic school, domestic violence case classes, anger management, theft and shoplifting classes. This information comes from a website called Logan Social Services, which offers these classes online. Why are these types of classes mandatory, yet classes that would provide education, knowledge, and skills to parents, enabling them to better care for their children, rarely heard of, let alone mandatory? As citizens of this country, are we doing the best we can for the future leaders of our nation, for the next generation of scientists, teachers, astronauts, inventors, for the hope of all that is good and worthwhile? In an article posted in U.S. News in February of 2014, Stephen Nelson reported the following. New York parents will be forced to return to school for government-run parenting classes if State Senator Ruben Diaz, Sr., Democrat from the Bronx, has his way. Diaz is sponsoring a legislation that would require the parents of elementary school students to attend 4 parent support programs before their children are allowed to enter 7th grade. End quote. From Dr. Dreyfus, the state cannot prevent people from having children. The state can't regulate who shall and shall not have the right to procreate. However, rather than do nothing and merely sit back and throw up our hands and lament the current state of affairs regarding the poor parenting skills of many parents and the negative effects on the children, perhaps there are ways to improve the probability of more effective parenting. End quote. I believe there is a credible solution which would help reduce the growing problem of the neglect and abuse of babies and small children, the inadequate ability of parents to help their child develop properly, and the lack of necessary skills in new parents to provide a safe, loving, and healthy environment to bring their baby home to. The solution is a mandatory series of parenting classes for all first-time parents. Mandatory. Parents would be required to complete a series of parenting classes prior to taking their baby home from the hospital. These classes would provide basic parenting skills and instruction in how to care for their newborn through toddler age and early childhood. I believe that the cost of providing this training and education for first-time parents would easily be offset by the funds that would be saved, which are now going towards caring for the neglected and abused infants, the medical and welfare costs for these children, and the cost of incarcerating parents found guilty of these heinous crimes, just to name a few. I realize that there are currently a variety of classes videos, and online information available to first-time parents. Some parents or some hospitals require videos to be viewed before going home with their new baby. Not exactly an uneventful time to have to take in an enormous amount of information. Yet, even with the parenting information that is available, it is not often sought out or implemented. Hence, that is why there is a need to make parenting classes mandatory. Topics needing to be covered could include such things as: what are the symptoms that require taking a baby to the hospital or to the doctor? What to do when the baby won't stop crying? Feeding baby, how often and how much? Vaccines, are they important to have the child receive those? Choking hazards and baby proofing your house. Infant CPR. Sudden infant death syndrome. Poison control, the importance of reading to your baby. Offering stimulating play, interacting with baby in a positive way. What can we do to make this vision a reality? We can stand up and be heard. In our own communities, we can speak to our neighbors and friends, getting their feedback and ideas about parenting classes. We can contact our state leadership requesting that mandatory parenting classes be considered for first-time parents in the state. We can reach out to our government leaders on a national level, sharing the positive aspects of mandating such a course of action. We can make a difference, one person at a time, one parent, and one newborn at a time. I have seen an infant left lying in the crib for hours on end. I have witnessed a little one, not yet a year old, being spanked repeatedly for crying out for attention. I observed as a parent yelled and cursed at their toddler for soiling his underwear. I have watched as parents, wanting nothing more than to be good parents, fail miserably due to lack of training and understanding. In conclusion, I quote again from Dr. Dreyfus. I know that simply attending parenting classes is no guarantee of creating effective parents, but it will increase the probability that something will rub off on the attendees that might result in a greater parenting competency. I believe that many people within this population of parents want to be better parents. They just feel overwhelmed and helpless. These classes might be of help to these parents. The cost of such parenting classes is nominal when compared to the cost of having a generation of neglected children. Doing nothing is not the answer. Thank you.